There were 721 games released for the Super Nintendo according to BitRebel.com. It was probably more than that if you count all the obscure releases, short-run cartridge situations, etc. The best game ever made for the SNES must have been towards the end of its life, no? Or perhaps in the middle, during the system's height of its popularity? Or was it one of the first games ever made for the SNES, achieving perfection in the first few moves? Okay, best game ever made is a strong claim, but if you had to do a top 3 list and Super Mario World isn't on there, you just don't know SNES games, I guess. Super Mario World was the first Mario game released for the Super NES in November 1990 in Japan and August 1991 in North America. It sold over 20 million copies worldwide, making it the best-selling SNES game ever. Considering it came with the console, I am suspect this isn't quite an accurate representation of sales. It's kind of like that band that gives a copy of their record to everyone at the release show and then chalks it up as selling 200 units or whatever. One thing I can agree on is it's the least rare game ever, yet still goes for about $22 on eBay. As comparison, John Madden Football 93, a Pooh-like release selling only 1 million units, goes for about $5 used. This has got to be that Mario World is so great no one wants to get rid of it, right? Mario World was directed by Takashi Tezuka, with Shigeru Miyamoto as producer. Both are heavy hitters at Nintendo and were involved with Mario and The Legend of Zelda since the original releases of both games and are legends in their own right. Composer Koji Kondo wrote the scores and used some of the well-known themes from Mario Bros. 3 for the new release. The NES was pretty limited in terms of music and sounds. Kondo was stoked he was able to use 8 sounds at once, and at times 7 different instruments. It took about a year and a half to develop all the music and sounds and such for the game, and the ragtime piano score can still put a smile on my face just thinking about it. The game was the first appearance of Yoshi, who would later become an icon for the Nintendo franchise, and was also what my hamster was named when I was a kid. Miyamoto had wanted a dino buddy for Mario since the original Super Mario Bros., but limitations of the NES just couldn't make it possible. Even before that, Miyamoto had designed a green dragon for the 1984 release Devil World, which was kind of a proto-Yoshi perhaps. During the development of Mario 3, there were a bunch of sketches floating around of Mario riding on a horse, and Mario World was when our hero finally got his ride, I guess. Early versions of Yoshi were thought to be too reptilian-like, and a cuter version was more what they had in mind. The redesign incorporated Miyamoto's love of horse riding as well as country and western themes. Thus we have our saddle-wearing, happy-go-lucky dino that everyone always picked in Mario Kart before me. Similar to Mario 3, there is a world map as a way to kind of tie all the stages together and allow you to easily go back to play stages previously played. The world is called Dino Land according to the map that came with the game and is divided into different food-themed areas. Aside from what you see here, there is also Bowser's World, Star World, and the Star World Special Zone. The Star World Special features some of the hardest stages in the game, and if you beat it, you truly have a lot of time on your hands. Everywhere you look, the map is just loaded with secrets, shortcuts, and different areas to help you on your way. There are a total of 96 flagpoles or exits, or whatever you want to call the Mario version of the finish line. If you beat them all, you get a star 96 next to your file at the start screen. There aren't 96 stages in the game, but some have multiple ways to beat them, and those stages are red as opposed to yellow. Speed running the game has become a phenomena in itself, and there are a bunch of different categories and rules people have come up with to divide and equalize the playing field. For example, the current world record fastest time beating the game is 41 seconds and 350 milliseconds. This is, however, in the zero exit or credit wrap category. Puzzled? There is a glitch in the game in the first level. If you can trigger the glitch, the game rolls the end credits, which technically counts as beating the game. It takes perfect timing and must be executed exactly right. This record is currently held by speedrunner Seth Bling from Washington State. Bling also holds a 2 minute and 41 second time in the Beat Bowser Extra category. In this category, all glitches are allowed, and the time stops once Peach or Princess Toadstool appears after beating Bowser. Including the extra categories, there's something like 63 different ways to beat the game. 96 exits seems to me the most complete way to beat the game. I mean, glitch or no glitch, you had to beat everything possible. That record comes in at 1 hour, 21 minutes, 57 seconds, and is currently held by Louis from Italy. Louis holds first in 5 different categories and over a dozen second and third places in others. If you're a real stickler, meeseeks, the Lunar Dragon category seems to be one of the most thorough. To qualify your run for this category, you must complete all 96 exits, collect all of the 7 3-up moons, and collect at least 5 of the dino coins in each stage, provided the stage has at least 5 dino coins. You are not allowed to execute any arbitrary code and no orb or cloud. The glitchless rules include clipping with or without Yoshi is not allowed, unless done by accident. This is a trick that allows you to basically go into the wall, skipping a bunch of the stage. Finally, stage end glitches are also not allowed, like wings, bosses, and goal tape swaps. Over the years, Mario World has racked up the awards. It received Game of the Year from Nintendo Power the year it was released. 2009, it was declared as the greatest game of all time in a poll conducted by Empire Magazine. It has been on countless A-lists and greatest game such and such categories year after year. And why not? Have you played it? It's super fun. I think I've beaten the game over 100 times and still pull it out at least once a year for an all-night beer and game fiasco to see if I still got what it takes. The controls are super fluid and nothing ever feels stiff. Mario can fly, which means you can explore every inch of every stage in detail if you're that kind of a nerd. It's easy to learn and hard to master at times. I'm not sure if this is what happens when you put a bunch of smart and talented people on the same project, or perhaps they beta tested it more than any other game that was ever tested. Miyamoto admitted publicly he felt the game was incomplete and development was rushed towards the end. Did they just get lucky then? Whatever it was, the world got a gem in 91 that hopefully will last until the sun goes supernova or maybe even longer. If you haven't played Mario World in a while, crack a beer or a soda, have a puff or whatever you fancy and dust it off. It makes my deserted island list and always will.